ahead and get this started off with House Representative Maria Isa, rapper, politics, everything, community. There's so many things that Maria Isa does, and I'm so grateful for knowing you these many years and how you've inspired me, like so many others, to just want to continue and get better and helping out with our communities. I mean, I'm even thinking about wanting to get in a political game because watching somebody go from being the best rapper, artist, I've seen her be in kitchens where all these dudes are rapping their asses off, freestyling. Then Maria Isa will come in and spit her shit off the dome, like, oh, would you, I'm gonna say DJ, right? But like, you know, we're not talking about the ones that, you know, motherfuckers got this shit right here, they got it memorized. No, we're talking about off the dome, freestyling. And at the end of that, all the dudes that just rapped and thought they were the coolest shit grabbing their just a little bit of drool right there. But that person now is over here doing amazing things in the Capitol, being in the faces of the people that we see on the internet. We're like, you motherfucker, why? She sees them face to face. So we're gonna let Maria Isa go ahead and talk. And save your questions for the end and commentary for the end, but you can snap, you can clap along if you feel. But we'll go ahead and save questions, Q&A at the end. So yeah, with that being said, here you go.
First of all, give it up for DJ Low. Mariah, thank you for inviting me here. And your shirt is popping. I'm gonna need to know where you bought that so I can wear that on the house floor.
H&M?
Did they give any, you know, to the hood back after that weekend?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
But I am Representative María and I am representative because the people gave me that title.
That's right.
And I am here because we are the people.
Yes.
And I appreciate you, Joel. I appreciate you, Duina. Like, we come from movement and different stories and different even streets and places and migrations and movements, but we come from the people. And I wouldn't be representative if it wasn't for the folks that I'm right here next to, because they're the ones that in movement of fire, in movement of fighting for water, in movement of trying to help our families. We've been doing social work since we were 8. You know, so when I talk about like your people, it's not just because even we're Latino, it's because we're from this community. So it's beautiful when you hear people coming into this space to say, I'm from here or I'm not from here and I want to collaborate, because we come from the movement of resistance, which is art. And art is so many different things. And we come from the movement of hip hop. And hip hop is a culture of surviving to reverse the middle passageway. And we're still here, regardless if it's, you can trace to Borinquen, you can even trace all over the place with the little DNAs and all of that. Is like, we here. And this land is indigenous, and the homies are still here, even at 1%. And it's about collecting what we are doing. And that is through movement. And that is through hip hop. So when you told me, can you come by and doing the show, and I'm like, this is hip hop. This is art. Because, you know, you mentioned like all the people that you're on social media, my my colleagues. Cause they're my colleagues. And they be saying that, you see, so they're saying it like this, see? And people are not used to having hip hop in that chamber. Like born of cells of hip hop. Not that they don't listen to hip hop, because my homies listen to hip hop. Like, best believe AOC is blasting everything.
Yeah. You know, like Megan
To Swifty, to whatever is popping, what you just seen here, to, I mean, I'm blasting Caliucci on there. And I'm blasting, you know, when these people want to say some of the things of what the things that we know. And I'm just a, 5'5" Puerto Rican girl from the West Side who is sitting there saying, are they really doing this like this? Yeah. Are they calling me up to say yield to something that's ridiculous right now? Y'all wasting time. Because as a daughter of movements, as a daughter of the drum, I'm like, they off rhythm. Somebody just scratched the needle on the record and the needle never jumped back, but we here. And so that's why I am the rap who raps, yo. And there's not one damn breath that comes out of me that doesn't say hip hop. Because hip hop is rock and roll, and jazz, and bomba, and rumba. It's Afro-Indigenous. So if we're talking about healthcare, as a type 1 diabetic, I am somebody that can talk about healthcare since I was 16, and I really had to pay attention because I want to just live. And there's ways to live, because I see that if you, not that many on the west side in District 65 or south side or wherever we've been as a collective force of BIPOC, this letter, that letter, which letter, whoever. I don't care if you come and pulling up with a hoodie or a crew neck sweater. I don't really care if you can't afford the regular shoes or you pulled up with the Gucci leather. Don't make me yield for some stupid ass question like that, because I come from battle rap.
Come on. Let's go.
So why do we have to hear off rhythm battle rap that makes the decisions of where we sleep, of how much food we have, of who gets a better education, who gets paid, which hospitals are better here and that side, and the cycle of all of that, and our kids and our homies getting their last breath on film by the same people that chase us around as rappers and teachers and entrepreneurs and midwives and doulas and performing artists and cultural studies and doctors of Chicano Latino studies, and because that's the off-rhythm song. And so when I decided to run, because you're like, talk about the journey, I decided to run because it wasn't like 10 years ago, I thought I was going to be in this space. It was because my people if I study civics and if I am politically engaged and I've always been active because I'm a daughter of the young lords and your cousins is Panthers and your other cousins that ain't even your blood cousins but you're all in Minnesota and they're AIM, children of AIM, and now we have a village of our children. And those are the people that get to spin the records of how much equity we get? Yeah, okay, buddy. Sure. Sure. So that's what got me. I was like, hey, this thing, we know how to, like, hip hop is politics. So when I go through those tunnels and you are, if you've never, who's been to, let me get this, because I just left this. How many of y'all even been in the Capitol?
What? Been in the where?
For a protest, okay? Okay. How many have been there in general? It's okay. Put right next to it.
For your birthday.
Yeah, we did that. I couldn't get off the floor, but I got up to the roof. And I appreciate you for being there, and to everybody who was there.
Other than that, no.
Okay, how many people have been there, not for my birthday or not for a protest? Which is kind of like the same thing, because they were probably protesting me having my birthday in the Capitol that stands in the district that I represent.
So Caleb and we got about 3, 4.
Okay.
They only got me there for a week.
Marijuana, okay? So, did y'all know that that's our house? They don't think that it is. And when I say they, the people that are not telling you that it's your house. The people that are not asking how can we organize like what we did over here, or why does that happen over here, right here? Because it's constant.
So when they said, like, I mean, in these rooms, they always tell us that we're not qualified. Check this box, or do you have that degree, or do you have this on a record? You have a record? You got a record? Because that's the trap, right? But
We've always had records.
Yeah.
The ones that sometimes aren't even ours. Because we're walking around with scars. See? Whether they're up here, or right here, or you're breathing in the toxins of what continues to oppress. That's what I'm telling y'all. Hip-hop is in the house. Because I'm not underqualified to survive all of those amendments, all of the constitutional rights, what's rights? The homies been needing driver's licenses for 20 years because Tim Pawlenty had an administration that, yeah. The homies, the guy kids, I gotta go pick them up in case, because they can't drive on that side for no reason, for just being black and Dominican or playing our songs too loud or being a mom concerned because her kid needs to go to the doctor. Or who thinks that any of this is working on without us organizing and caring about our babies and nurturing them? Y'all are over here tripping about feeding our shorties?
Yeah. Free food. Free food for the kids.
Now I'm like, cool, the food is free, but what's in the food? And how do we connect these amazing agricultural programs that we have from all of us that have collaborated from agriculture, growing the plants, our grandmothers' feet in the soil, some of them chained, some of them, oh, you ain't chained on this side of the island, but on that side you will, or no, you're just gonna take care of the babies over here, or your man, you're gonna have a kid, we're drafting them to war. That's what it's like to be Puerto Rican. That's what it's like to be African. That's like how many boats of refuge from Asia. Malaysia. They don't like to see us organized, so they over here trying to be space rangers. We come from the streets with the Power Rangers, pulling up in the Rangers. Too many of the homies had their funeral arrangements. I walk up into how the county's trying to get funding to put more cages. And the ones that are there, can't even tell you how many different phases it got me to get through those stages. They think it's about the popularity, thinking like 19 and city pages. I'm trying to tell these folks that this is native land, and everywhere we go, we shouldn't have to have the law to burn the stage with. And we come from the land of the 10,000 and lakes, but it's more looking like more than 10,000 homeless right off the lakes. And trust me, I got a whole bunch of vatos who got licenses, and they the ones who know how to cook up the steaks. Climate refuge bringing Boricuas all the way to Latino lakes, and they the mechanics fixing the brakes. And we are just trying to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Can you get a fat sack and put it up in the case? Because we've been surviving all the truckers in our line, and then they putting us and the boys and the girls in the gates, or they just laying all in their place. Right outside the yellow tape. Is it a union? Is it SEIU or is it MAPE? You look at us like we got records. I'm just carrying my records up in these crates. But blessed be a Serato because I got a whole bunch and gotta carry my little girl who's cuatro. Thinking about abuelos in the campos, wishing that they could have their plátanos and playing on the cuatros. I got a voice of a coquí, not a sapo, but I know a homie who be rapping like he guapo. We got a lot, yo. They trying to figure out for how many years, over a decade, what they're doing to see us young, yo? What kind of plot, hip-hop, rock, yo? We survived that. We survived witnessing how they dropped Selena, Biggie, and Pac before I was 12 years old. On the state of land that was stole. That's how I go into the house chamber, and I don't give a shit if like they don't like that. Because I seen Lee Manuel make a whole bunch of bread, man, from Hamilton, and I was like, what's going on? Well, it's hip hop. And Hove, yes. At least, you know, there's men that are still standing up for their women in those spaces and not just grabbing their balls anymore and not caring if women want to grab their tits or not caring about what the amendments is going to say or not putting us on a damn floor for like 7 hours, 8 hours. What time is it? Is it really 3:30 in the morning? Yeah. And all they keep talking about is not letting the homies who are trans, like, have healthcare?
That ain't right.
Or, and they keep talking about these horrible things. Hey, that's public there, it's live, it's documented. Yeah. Be a part of your civic engagement. I know, girl, you government, you probably know something, man. I know. I am Miss Crazy. Like, but so are you. So that's your house. We want equity. What does that look like? It looks like us.
That part.
Yeah. It looks like us. So I say that because it'd be crazy in there, right? Look at you. Beautiful. Arts. Healing. Healers. And you tripping about funding this? Juvenile delinquency. I'm like, that word. You mean children? Some of them have opportunities that have been just engraved. And well, with the majority of us not having. So like if we're at a table to talk about what does restorative justice look like, and folks don't include the movements of justice, that right there will show you who got the crown, who has the baton, who has the pistol, who's putting them in the hands of children. With phones and there's war here, there's war here, there's war everywhere. And we just over here acting like it's not in existence because we just finished one war and it gets tired. But the whole thing is, who organizes better than artists?
We'll wait.
Who organizes better? Hey y'all, for real though, like who organizes better than artists? I be thinking like
I'd say a grandma, but even grandmas are artists.
grandmas are artists. Them little hands made the best culinary arts and
Out of nothing.
healed us with herbs and healed us with herbs. So how many of y'all want like we got an herb through, now we're working.
We got one herb, the second was
So like, you know, but all of that is those stories of testimony, y'all. Is like, ain't no shame in the game, but if you ain't there to flame, then why you there to complain?
Yeah.
I tell the homies all the time. The cannabis bill was, I seen so many of the homies in the tunnels for the first time, and I loved it, you know, I was like,
They're on the west side.
they're like, what up?
Here's some gummies.
What up? And I'm just like, what up, man? Come here, man. They're like, yo, this is crazy. Tell me about it, bro. Well, tell me about the weed bill. And I'm like, library upstairs in the Capitol.
Yeah.
It's yours. Go use it. Yes, you definitely have been there. Yes.
Use it.
And thank you for your great advocacy and your amazing organizing,
Thank you.
because this is all. And those nights that you stayed there and you fought and you organized, because
Yeah. It's my house.
that's her house.
I sat there and I ate my edibles when we were late, sitting there at 11 p.m. I'm watching you guys sit there and debate it. I'm like, screw it, I'm eating my nighttime gummies.
And
I'm going home in 20 minutes.
I feel like, hi y'all, I'm going over here. I think, you know, what's up? You good? Yeah. You need anything? Water? Like like, no, I'm good. I'm good. We got everything. The reality of that is what it is. And that's why, like, and I say we because I wouldn't be in there without people and village. My little shorty is 4.5 years old and is an Afro Boricua black little Puerto Rican girl walking and is like, and she don't play that. She does not play that. You wanna go see the gold horses? Okay, let's go see the gold horses. I used to write rhymes, I still do. But my first, looking at those horses. From the west side, the best view of the horses from that bluff right there. Cause I seen it throughout. And my grandma used to say, you know, like, cause my mom worked at the state, and she was like, you think look at this, it's amazing to see the first class of like, Grandma wanted the horses, always say, just look at the horses, stay focused on the center, always stay focused on the gold. Or el oro. She didn't speak no English. She did not speak English at all, if that. She knew how her words, but she lived to be 103 years old. And she raised me. And she didn't have shoes. Her dream was to have a pair of shoes when she was 8 years old, so that it wouldn't hurt to go to the school across the campo where it was militarizing to tell you that you couldn't have any pride in your nationality as a Boricua. And they were off the sugarcane lands and forcing English in the schools, and they only give the third grade education. Enough to read and write. It's best to go and get a job that was a whatever job that you can get. In Puerto Rico, so they'd be like, why you care so much about Puerto Rico? I say, you care about your abuela? Why y'all love that flag so much? It was illegal to wave our flag. Puerto Ricans, everybody loves their flag. When you know Puerto Ricans love it. It's like, I went to the Capitol, I was like, Puerto Rican! A big pop. But Time Machine Squad, Carolina, Loisa, Ponce, Vega Baja, Utuado. It was like a reggaeton song. Because the reality is like, to me, it's not just that flag, it was like illegal by the 1948 gag law. A federal offense to him. You see Puerto Rican Mark Anthony, and he's just like, Puerto Rico! And everybody's like, you don't know. I know everything he's saying. That thing is a little coquille. There would be no Bad Bunny without the influence of all
Right, no, that part.
And then prior to that, it's like Hector Lavoe. Okay, so it's like a generational wave, but it was always storytelling in hip hop.
Yeah.
So, come to the Capitol, fill out those surveys of what you'd like to see there. Find out the resources of something that you need. Because when those people say in housing committee, or they're getting handouts, I'd be like, handouts? Did he really just say that? Yes, he did. Yeah, and we're not your landlords. We're your housing providers. They done messed up because they got Representative Kozlowski, who was the first non-binary elected into the state of Minnesota, native, indigenous, Grand Portage. You have Representative Samakam Hussein, who maybe he's like, man, I speak 5 different languages. My cousins came here on the refuge, but I got picked up to make sure that we don't deal with that no more.
Right.
So like it's a reality of like and who's and the cousins, it's your cousin, my cousin, your cousin, who's your cousin, all the cousins are in the housing that they're talking about. And you know what? I'm a renter. I don't want to see rent go up in my hood because we're paying to live in our hood, that we building arts and culture, and guess what? We gonna rap.
Yeah.
Because numbers matter, y'all.
That's right.
Numerology, mathematics, B. Wu-Tang. Numbers matter. How many of y'all raised your hand and said, have you ever been to the Capitol? Raise it. Without a protest. Without policy. Okay. How many of y'all gonna come and visit me in the Capitol? How many of y'all gonna come and see? How many of y'all gonna come and see? Come on. Because honestly, That's, if you didn't raise your hand, then you're not raising your hand to be hip-hop, to really come and do what hip-hop does, which is a circled environment of culture and celebration and ciphers and rhythm and fun and love. Medicine, arts, whether you like the boom bap or the trap, or it's all connected into reversing the middle passageway. Thank you very much.
All right, man, that was amazing, was it not? One more time, make some more noise for We'll do some Q&A. We'll do some Q&A, and then we'll have break time. You guys can grab some more drinks from City Up North in the back. If you are smoking weed, we ask if you can go in the back a little bit. There's some ashtrays over there, and then head to the bathroom. And we go ahead and continue on with our panelists. So, anybody have any questions or anything? Okay, perfect. So, what about this?
How you doing again? My name is Loveless. That's 2 words, Loveless. I just want to say again, thank you for showing up. As a fellow Afro-Latino, like it's awesome to see somebody representing in a place that doesn't have a lot of representation from other cultures. You know? And that's sad to see, especially when America looked at it as like the melting pot. That's sad to see that the people that go ahead and represent us aren't exactly fully cultured as, or rather representative of us. You know what I'm saying? So first off, thank you for that. And second of all, my question is when you walked up in the first day, when you walked up in that building, and you walked up in that space, knowing who you were, knowing that you weren't 80 years old and, not a person, not colored, what was it like for you? What went through your head? What was your first goal?
What first went through, sorry, I'm loud, I'm Puerto Rican.
I know. Audio recording.
They'd be like, Maria, turn it down, we see that you're very passionate about that. I'm like, no, I'm loud, because you ain't heard us for decades and centuries. We ain't got no more time to waste. That's right, and that's why I'm staying on the floor. That's why I sang a song that is bomba, which is our ancestors. And it ain't no freedom of that, it's our freedom of survival. And that's why I'm like, ethnic studies will pass.
Yeah.
I am a child of ethnic studies. You study my ethnicity. You want to get theatrical? Well, I did theater too. It's like, where are we? So like, what came into, to answer your question is like, I thought about the homie, Mr. Martinez. I'm Mr. Martinez on Instagram, Latinos, tailor, suit designer.
Ivan Martinez. He's one of my best friends from high school.
So,
What's up?
And he's a constituent. And I was like, talking to him about everything that we were like, what does everybody talk about here? As a part of like the policy engagement is creative economic initiatives. Because we hustle. We are artists. We grind.
Right.
So I'm like, it's creative economic initiatives that will develop housing and we can talk about workforce and care and all about child care. Creative economic initiatives. So I was like, small business bro, I wanted, he had been supportive of like Movimiento, of, the Latino caucus where I was like, it's all of our caucus. I'm like, we're everything. And if you think you're not, or you have a problem that you don't think you're privileged, because if I'm light-skinned, I have a privilege that my negrita cousin doesn't have, and my other light skin with the green eyes, who is the same sister of the my negrita and love. Okay, real talk. If y'all don't see the privilege amongst what we see our privileges amongst each other, but if you do, it's movement, movimiento. You know, so like, and we have to talk about like the racial disparity. So all of that was coming into me because I'm Puerto Rican, not supposed to be an elected official, let alone a Puerto Rican woman. And that's not in a rapper. That's not hip hop. I'm not like, that's the thing. So they're the first rapper, and the rapper. I was like, we will rap all over this place. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, man. This is amazing, y'all. That's what I'm like, rap. I'm like, but I'm holding my daughter, and I'm in tribal circle with Leash Kozlowski to do because I'm Boricua, and they recognize that. And I'm with, all Representative Hussein, and I'm an honorary member of the Somali caucus. Hey, salam alaikum, all the lines, let's go, because it's one star, right? And so, all of that momentum, because we're all there together. You see the first black women senators, 3. They were like, not just one, we're going to give you 3 one at a time. You're going to have, Senator Verbatim, Aaron McQuaid, and Senator Muhammad. It was like we're on our own Star Wars mission. My little girl, like, just being lowly, like, hey, come on, take it. But she's like, I don't know you. And my mom. And it was like, whoa, the laser. Whoa. Okay. Because we were sitting there and it hit us. It hit us. No, man, it hit us. I was like, Mom, you know this guy? She's like, the representative to your right. I said, yeah, he was my basketball ref. Representative Hewitt was my basketball ref. He's like, yeah, she was fast from St. Agnes. Yeah, I remember that. I need to talk to you about ambulances. I need to speak with you about our firefighters, though. I need to holler at you about why in Dakota County, and I only have this part, but I am in Dakota County, and at that delegate, all of that was like, they didn't know that that's what I was going to be like, my other colleagues. And my mom's just like, your father. Vietnam, Boricua, drafted, veteran, Brooklyn. My daddy on the floor, they were like, you got your daughter, 2 tickets, right? I got 2 because I'm Puerto Rican, I'm gonna figure this out. I tried to get like 10 to bring the whole family, but it didn't. They're like, stop. It wasn't just me in there. My mom's, my baby on my lap. I had Lolita Lebron patched inside of my jacket, and Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos, and my abuela's elefante, and my homies over there. They're like, Maria, you have a watch room of people. And it was a blizzard outside, but the homies came, DJ Keezy and Rami and Sophia Aris, and it was like, after touring with Lizzo and all this, like, everybody was like, doing graduation, Supreme Court just took away our uterus rights to decide. We're going all of it. No. I was like, that's how y'all organize? My girls organize like, when we come together, the queens, we organize and throw a party. Your party's not cool right now. Our parties be popping. I don't know where you be at, but if it's 5 people or 2,000, it's a fun time. And
the thought of all of that was just like full blast. You can hate me now, or you can love me for who, but this is what we need our children to feel their authentic selves. And you're not gonna tell a lawyer to close his law firm, or a doctor or a pharmacist shut up their pharmacy if they're a legislator. So why would you think I would stop being a hip hop artist?
Yeah.
We are politics, as usual. That's what I felt, man. Hip hop, family, survival, Boricua as fuck. Like Rosie Perez and Prince in that place, you know? I'm the child of Rosie Perez and Prince in that place. So Rosie Perez is pretty awesome. And Prince, we got royalty around. He was the one who told us we royal. Whether you lived in the north side, west side, Chicago, Compton, the Bronx, that came right here, that revolution. So when they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're the children of a revolution. And we are in this, and the capital sits in the district that I sit. And I say that all the time because I don't think my colleagues like to hear that, who sit on the boards that decides what happens there, and now they have to hear that. And I have to remind them that it sits in our district. Why is it so hard to engage people to come to the Capitol? Let's throw a big concert there, man. Let's talk about the Crown Act and celebrate all the sisters with the crowns.
That's right. That's right.
Let's have maná, like,
Yeah.
talk about licencias para todos. And if you don't want it at the Capitol, well then someone else is going to pick it up. But I'd like to do that at the Capitol that's in my district.
Right.
So who's ready to make policy with me?
Let's go.
Thank you.
We got a random right over here for you.
I'm too quiet to do that, so.
Work now?
Okay, less of a question, more of a comment. I was one of the people that raised their hand saying they went to the Capitol without any of those other conditions. I was privileged enough to go to an arts magnet school, and that's the only reason I got that opportunity.
So, where's that school?
It's in Buffalo, Minnesota.
Buffalo, Minnesota. So they had funds to take the kids. So imagine Humboldt High School or Johnson, Harding,
Yeah.
Roseville, South Pine, North
Emerson
Pine,
Middle
Emerson.
School. We can go there. Emerson.
The schools the closest.
Don't even go.
Why? Because they don't have transportation to pay. And I'm like, hold up. Mira. Fidi. Yes.
Exactly, and that's why
Thank you.
said that I'm privileged enough to.
No. But that's because Buffalo, so I'm like demographically, because I sit on a finance committee, so that they're gonna get where the demographics, they're gonna fund those projects. They're creating that. We can create that too. And that's what folks like, man, we need transportation and this is messed up. And I was like, homies are watching the game. Like literally at the game. Bro, you need to tell me your school doesn't have this. Oh yeah, I know. So you just told me though. So I'm gonna create this policy, and that's not in my part of the district, but you should set up this meeting with the person who is your representative, and let's just, that's how policy works. So why do you think that they don't wanna teach civics in the spaces and pay for the people who are teachers to live, that we had to have a common teaching job, a bartending job, a DJ job, a serving job, your child is number one, mix, do this. And then funding for like arts.
Yeah.
We need to speak about art policy outside of just like the foundation that gets the funding philanthropically and then they divide it. Y'all, this is not your fault if you know it or you do know, or if you don't know it because they don't want this. When I say they, what we have survived to say, how hard is it to like just maintain with your business? But if you are not incorporated, then you may be a business person. But if you don't have an LLC filed at the state, and if you don't know how to do that, then you better go to your Secretary of State, Steve Simon. And I bet you that nobody like them, oh, I don't have it to get the light. It's really, we can figure that out through certain organizations that got the funding last year for this specific reason. That's information, it's public information. I can rap about that. We've been writing grants since we were teenagers for bomba drums, for stereo equipment, to play for gas, to drive, to teach at 16 what our parents were passing down, whether it was drumming or history. We didn't read that. You didn't read that in Humboldt, did you, Kay? No. But you did learn it at Dee Shay's house.
Yes, I did. I did learn it at your aunt's house.
That's right. You see, so like it's village. When people we're feeding kids, it's about time we've been feeding our kids with nothing for a long time. Yes, we did it.
You can add on to that.
And they would shoot our leaders who were feeding it. So if you're gonna feed the kids, absolutely feed the kids. You gonna feed them history too.
Right.
Shoot, that's number one fuel. What do you do when your baby's born? It's nutrition, and it's rattled, and it's singing, and it's humming. Why have you stopped thinking about that? Society? We gotta step up even within our own spaces of being accountable, taking accountability. We are human. Get help for those things. It's not bad. You know, like when the homie, I gotta talk to somebody, but this dude was clowning me, like, what do you mean, the therapist? Absolutely. You got a lot of shit up in there to say, I know you have my life. We've survived things. Go speak to them, okay? But you don't see people who reflect in those spaces because it's challenging to get the degree to have that service, but who are your villagers? Because we survive with folks without degrees, and we survive with folks who challenged and continue to be challenged with whatever degree that they had. So the state should hire folks who don't have a college degree, and they did, and we just changed that. Because why? Because there's folks in there that are here, we're working together. And it's not easy if y'all ain't up in there. The workload is harder. Some homegirl was like, they knocked down the board hall. that's in your district. I'm like, technically, actually, it's not. That is Representative Hussein across the street. But they did that and curated that law in 2020 before I was here. And I'm working on that. They already did that. That how is that space going to be harvested? Because we didn't want to keep that historic building because it was condemned and disgusting. And so, like, we can have this conversation. You don't got to yell at me about that. I understand why you're yelling too. Because it's traumatizing and they didn't even tell us. That means that you're not going to trust the people that are doing that. And it's not about trusting, it's about how much you are engaged to know the information that is there for us. Some folks, if they would like to agree to disagree, that's fine. But I need to stay focused with my people. So,
And with that part, we're gonna go ahead and, with that, we're gonna go ahead and go into a little 10-minute break. You guys want 10 minutes? Good for everybody? Grab a drink, you can smoke, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs out. Make some more noise for House Representative María. They're safe for everybody. That's the first thing that I want. You know, it's the venue. I want to make sure that we're having the right people coming in, and it's just a safe, fun party. And talking about you do that, and you do amazing things for our community. So tell us your story, tell us your journey, and you know, everybody's over here ready to soak up the knowledge because you do so much, and I want them to get to know you. So let them know who you are.
Thank you, DJ Will. Well, hello everyone. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm back at it.
As DJ Lo said, my name is Duina, but I go by queenDuin. So queen rhymes with Dween, y'all, okay? I do use she and they pronouns, and I will say this loudly and proudly all the time. I am a queer Latinx DJ here in the Twin Cities. Yes, I was self-made. My parents migrated here in the 90s from Mexico City, and I was privileged enough to be born here and raised in a very traditional Mexican household, which is actually part of the reason that I'm here as a DJ today, because I love music and I love my culture. As I said, I was born and raised in Minnesota, went to Oxford College, and I love Minnesota, you know, it's just like my home. And I started my DJ career in 2017. It's actually funny how life has these full circle moments, because sitting here with María Isa being the other panelist, you know, if you would have told baby Dween 8 years ago when she started that she would be doing that, I would have, you know, laughed in your face because I wouldn't have believed it. Because María Isa was actually one of the first people to inspire me to do what I'm doing today. I was in college and I went to the show called The Clituation, and she was on it. They were rapping with DJ Keezy, DJ Sophia Aris. And I was like, dang, those are women of color doing the damn thing. I can do the damn thing too. Like, why not? You know, so representation is so important. Now she's doing it like on a state level, and it's ironic because she's telling me I need to do the same thing too, and I'm like, maybe I should, you know, because taking up space is just what we have to do as people of color, you know. Existence is resistance. Literally, just taking up space is enough to fight the oppressive powers of Western imperialism and white supremacy and the patriarchy and misogyny and all of those isms, and I know you know what I'm talking about. So all of those things is kind of what brought me here today, and it's great to have this confirmation in these spaces that I am where I'm supposed to be, because at the end of the day, you know, art is a form of resistance and a form of being inspired and a form of coping. At the end of the day, the world is just so fucked up, y'all, like the world really is. So having art and having music and having community are just ways that we can just cope and be okay and use our voices at the end of the day, which is why I'm also a DJ. But a little more about why I became a DJ. So I do love music and I love dancing, that's for sure. But when I was going out and finally 21, I noticed that there wasn't a lot of women DJing. You know, I was like, everywhere I would go, I would see a white, cis, male DJ playing shitty music and having shitty transitions. And I'm like over here spending my hard-earned money trying to have a good time. And I was like, okay, something ain't right here. We gotta do something about it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just buy a controller and use my resources and see if I can make something happen. And I was really fortunate because I was involved in a community at the time and I was surrounded by a lot of queer folks and a lot of women that saw that vision and saw that I was a queer Latinx DJ and really helped me get in the right places so that I can have the success that I have today. And I am self-taught. I do have a couple of mentors that y'all should look up. DJ Shannon Blowtorch, who is an amazing DJ here. She's one of my mentors, and she came to my house. And this is what I mean by when you're a girl's girl and you want to empower other women and give them the confidence and give them the space. This is something that Shannon taught me. She came to my house when it wasn't furnished. I had just moved and I was, you know, on my own And she came and she sat on the floor of my apartment, and I set up my little, booth speaker and my DJ controller, and she just taught me right there on the floor. I had not a couch, I had just my DJ stuff, and she taught me, and she was like, these are just the basics, and you can do it, and you have great music taste, and I'm here to just support you. And I'll never forget that, because I take that experience with me today. I'm not only a DJ now too, but I also have like a DJ child that I'm really proud of, and she's also a woman of color. Because like I said, I'm a girl's girl. I'll be very transparent and say that I'm here to support women, specifically women of color, queer women. I'm here to provide the space for femme artists, and I'm always going to support them. So that is how I started, a little bit of my DJ career. I recently, last year, just was able to get my LLC, so I'm officially a business owner. And I am extremely blessed to be in a place where I can do this full fucking time. The first 3 years I was working 3 jobs. I was bartending, I was working with youth homeless services, and I was DJing. But all of that effort and hard work paved the way for me to just be able to do this full time now. And my business mainly just entails, doing private events, weddings, quinceañeras, anything that you might need a DJ for, colleges. I do a lot of that, and I'm really trying to expand my business to specifically the queer community and to people of color, just because just being who I am provides that safety and security that, I'll understand, that I'm not going to be racist or problematic, and also understand your culture, because there's no culture of whiteness. So I'm happy to provide that for folks. And I'm also a resident DJ at the saloon downtown. Any of y'all been to the saloon? Yes. It's okay, straight people can go too, okay. Yes. So I'm a resident DJ there, and I started there in 2018 because they needed a DJ for the Latin nights. So I was there. I went from being there once a week to now being the full-time resident DJ. So it took about 5 years. That was a huge stepping stone and confirmation for me that I can do the damn thing, because my mentor, who recently moved to Vegas, his name is DJ Larry Peace, who was the former resident DJ. He was, doing it there, and I would always just look up to him and his amazing ability to just DJ, because DJing is a ritual. You're really just giving somebody your energy, and it's just like a spiritual experience. And he did that for me and encouraged me and told me he was about to leave, and he was like, now it's going to be up to you to step up to the plate, and you are qualified and you have those skills. And just hearing that from him really gave me a lot of confidence and confirmation, because sometimes as a person who is in a male, white dominated profession, you do experience a lot of self-doubt because you're alone a lot of the times. And so just getting that confidence for people in my community and for people from Larry to let me know that I can do it is just like so important, So that's why I'm glad to just be in this space too. Like, y'all giving me the confirmation with it too, that I can do it and keep on doing it. I'm a strong believer that when you want something, that the universe conspires and aligns with you to get it done. I'm a strong believer of that, and I'm evidence of that. I mean, I'm a child of an immigrant here in the Western power of the United States, trying to make a living. And even though I can't, unfortunately, dismantle the system of capitalism in one day, I can sure as hell exploit it. So I'm gonna try, make some money, get my business going. If white people can do it, why can't I? Why can't I do it? Why can't I get rich to offer the same system? And and with that, part of my identity as a DJ too is I am very, very, anti-capitalist, anti-fascist, anti-Zionism, anti-white supremacy, anti-patriarchy. Because all of those things, they're not of us. Our ancestors, I hear my ancestors daily telling me, like, this shit ain't us. I'm a strong believer that you need to decolonize your mind. Like, you really, unfortunately, need to make that effort and put in that effort to decolonize your mind. And then, use that to your advantage and to bring awareness and to help people. And that's why I love being a DJ, I'm here, I'm queer, I'm proud of, my upbringing, everything that brought me to this place, excited for the future. I can't tell you like how many times I've been like, damn, like just DJing and believing in myself really got me this, or really brought me here, Last 2 years ago during Pride, I had the opportunity to open at the Armory for Carly Rae Jepsen, and I was backstage and I got to meet her and everything, and I'm like, damn, like, this is just the beginning, like this really is just the beginning. Like, there's so much more that can come from this, when you believe in yourself and also love yourself and have a great support system. And I also would not be here doing this without music. Music is my therapy. Music has been there for me when no one else has. Music has never left me. And I'm just so grateful to be doing what I'm doing. And yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I don't know what else y'all want to know, If y'all have any questions or...
Yeah, we'll take some questions. We got some questions for people. I know I got a couple of questions as well that I can lead with. Any questions off the bat right now? I was going to go ahead and say, you mentioned about getting into the spaces of the colleges, and sometimes you got into those spaces as corporate and all that. How has, giving some people some advice on this, because I know there's people in here that are wanting to go ahead and do a show of their own, or a release party, this or that. But, like how we've had in some of the past music industry nights here, we've had people talk about navigating from hip-hop, rap, all that, and then getting to these corporate spaces. What's some keys, advice that you can give people over here about being into those spaces and what you've learned?
I think, just obviously there's always a level of professionalism and just making sure that you're confident in who you are and not try to assimilate to whiteness, because, bureaucracy is just whiteness, so you gotta be yourself. And just remember that, be confident in being yourself. Like, don't try to get in the anxiety of overthinking it all because it is corporate. I mean, they reached out to you, and they're reaching out to you for your brand, for what you're bringing to the table, which is who you are as an artist or whatever you might stand for. So be confident in that. You really got to be confident in that. And they might not like it, and some might say no, but 9 out of 10 times they will be about it. So just be confident, and also just have the level of professionalism, because the antics of having everything down, like in terms of an administrative stuff, is like important too, because that's just part of having a business and getting hired too. And then once you are hired and you're in that space, just be loud and proud about it. Take up that space and get paid to be there for what you need, what they hired you for, and be loud about it and be proud about it. Because it is important to take up that space. And I mean, for me, especially because it does get kind of daunting sometimes if it is like corporate or super white, I just take moments to just kind of ground yourself before the event, and just try to ground your nervous system. A lot of self-affirmation and self-talk is always important as well. And then also just, like, to encourage y'all, or like, I've always felt encouraged to reach out to these spaces too, because like I said, you gotta take up these spaces. Like, there's no reason why you can't be getting paid, high rates to do some white corporate business job or opportunity. You need to take up those spaces. There's a reason why they don't want us in those spaces, but we need to take up that space. And it's yours to take, 100%. Yes.
Another question I have, if you guys have any, would be for artists. So there's a lot of artists over here. So, you work with many artists yourselves over the years. What is some advice that you could give to these artists that, especially with like relationship with DJs? I always say, have a USB ready if you're going to go out to the club, give it to the DJ and say, what's up, how you doing, instead of saying, hey, how can I airdrop you my song? So what's some keys that you can give to the artists here today?
I guess I would just say, go for the opportunity if you see it can be yours. I know y'all probably have heard the saying, closed mouths don't get fed.
Come on.
You know, like, to a certain extent, you do really have to be, like, your biggest fan and your biggest promoter and your biggest marketer, because you're a brand, you're promoting, you're selling yourself, you know, and just obviously being kind and not being like a dick about it, you know, and like genuinely wanting to be there for the support and creating community and to elevate yourself as an artist as well. But I'm always like encouraging folks to just like come and approach me, talk to me, email me. Like, you just have to be open and honest, transparent, and kind, I guess I would say. Yeah.
We got a question back over here. As I walk back over there, how many of you guys artists have your own business cards, websites? Those are some things that can help you out when you guys are, going out to these, what were you saying?
Marketing, branding, yeah, that's a huge part.
Huge. Huge, and that helps you guys
Gotta
out.
learn those skills, you really do. It's important. Content, you gotta give people stuff to consume, because, capitalism, they gotta consume, let them consume you. What are you gonna get them to consume?
Speaking all facts. So by next month, I hope majority of you guys, those that don't have business cards, get business cards. It has your phone number on there, your email, your website, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever helps.
QR codes, everything, y'all.
Huge.
I seen somebody have a QR code on the back of their car, and I was like, I need to do that.
Yes.
Need a DJ? QR code. Like, I'm trying to be like Vegas, but in a person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever been to Vegas, but it's just like a city of like advertisements, and I'm like, that's what I need,
No, all that. Great points. Amazing points. Love listening to your question.
How you doing again? One last time, my name is Loveless. My last question for you was, since you've been doing this, what was the show or performance that you did that kind of like let you understand, like, okay, I'm doing something or I'm on the right path? Like, what was that show and what was that experience for you like?
I mean, obviously the Carly Rae Jepsen show just comes up because it was at the Armory and it was my biggest crowd, about 7K people. And I mean, when you're up there, you're just on that high, like there's just, like, you get a taste and then you want more and you're like, I could do this, because you're there and you're feeling the energy and all of the hard work is paying off and all the practicing and all the long nights and all the bullshit you gotta put up with, and then you're there and you're fucking doing it and you're like, yes. That was definitely me at Carly Rae Jepsen, especially because the feedback I got after, everyone was like, the DJ set was more energetic and more fun than Carly Rae Jepsen's performance.
Wow.
And I was like, yes. I mean, I still have people come up to me, mainly in the queer community, because I'm definitely more well-known and have more agency in the queer community. They come up and be like, you DJ for Carly, I remember that set, that was amazing, oh my goodness. That was so much fun. And for me, that was like, there's so much more for me after that, like, event. And then, doors just started opening. Another like, event that, like, really set it in stone for me that I can do this is at the saloon. I mean, having, as a DJ, if like, in the queer DJ, Minneapolis, good music scenes, if you're able to hold it down at the saloon on a Saturday night, and keep the energy, because there's so many people, keep the energy going, that's like a good sign. So once I got, the resident DJ spot and was able to do 5-hour sets of good music and high energy, then I was like, hell yes, this is it. Because there's nothing like it. I mean, just being able to be connecting with a whole group of people through music and dancing, it's wonderful. And then of course, like, connecting with people like María, Shannon Blowtorch, Keezy. I've done shows also like for the Capitol, stuff like that, or just being able to get more business. Once the business started coming in and I saw those money, because I like money. I'm a Capricorn rising, so I'm just trying to make money. Yes. The hustler is in me.
Make some noise if you like to make
money. I deserve nice things, so I'm gonna make sure I get those nice things. Yes. That's a good question.
Great question.
I just have a question. I don't even need this, I don't think. I have a question just about the LLC thing. So I've had my business for 3 years, and I also just finally made it an LLC this year. And that was after like a lot of convincing, because I looked at myself as an artist with the type of consultations I do. So what convinced you to finally go into the LLC world as an artist?
Capitalism.
Yeah, samesies.
There's a little thing called taxes for being self-employed. So, once I started getting more business because of it, and then realizing, oh, I can do this full time, this is going to be my income. And then just learning when it comes to run a business, one of the important things is just the LLC, because when you have expenses, it's not, Duina Hernandez doing the expenses, it's under queenDuin, it's under my business. So that's really what encouraged me, and then just because I get to pay less taxes, because they're rich,
Fuck Texas!
Yeah, fuck Texas, especially when I'm supporting genocide.
For you guys, do we have any other questions? Anybody else? Man, this is a huge honor for everybody to be over here. Make some more noise for queenDuin! I'm gonna keep playing some music. Hang out here however you want to.